was an elusive running back, you know.
Freddie was one of the world's best at going out and scampering behind Joy and finding some place to go.
He was one of the top running backs in the state.
He hustled every day. He gave it all he had.
Freddie was a great football player overall, just a great athlete.
He was elusive. He was hard to get a hard lick on.
I always felt like he helped me get noticed because of 28 pitch out. I could pull out there and I'd block that guy, and Freddie could always cut the way he needed to turn it into a big play. Now I found out when we ran 28 pitch out, Freddie was setting up that cornerback, so I'd block him a certain way and open a path for Freddie to go the way he saw, because he could see the whole field better than me. I was concentrating on that cornerback.
Freddie's the reason we as successful as we were.
Well, you know, his name's a Ketron High, which would denote speed. But he had another nickname called Flea. Now, if you ever try to get a hold of Flea, it's near impossible. So he was able to jump cut and move in different directions that made him very hard to get a hold of. And I know this personally because I'm running against him every day in practice.
There's no way they could key on anybody. If they keyed on me, Clark would eat them alive. And then if they keyed on both of us and stopped them, then Ozzy was going to pass them silly, so it didn't make no difference what they done. It was wrong.
You know, Freddie wasn't that big of a running back. But, you know, he was fast, but he had good moves. He was shifty. And I think that was his big part right there, being a shifty runner.
To me, there are players, there are stars, and there are superstars. And on our team, he was a, if not the, superstar.
It was team effort. And I think that's the way Freddie played. I don't think he played to break any records. I just think he played because he loved it. He loved the camaraderie and being with all the rest of us.
When we ran the pitch out, I remember I missed my block. And I remember just in my instant in my head, I saw the linebacker coming and the cornerback coming. I said, oh no, it's going to get Freddie's done. And he cut left, cut right, cut left, cut right. And those guys were laying on the ground. Just he jerked them right in their spot and just going down the sideline. So he made us look good as offensive linemen. He didn't need a whole lot of daylight to do stuff that he did.
Freddie could he can make you look stupid and put a move on you.
Yeah, we complimented each other. You know, I knew what I was supposed to do, and he knew what he was supposed to do. You know, and, it worked out good.
If I missed the block and he did get tackled, he'd always come back. He'd pat me on the back and say, we'll get him next time, man. Don't worry about it. Next play, next play.
he'd told the boys if they'd hit me, that I'd quit, that I'd lay down. And I guess that's stuck in my craw worse than anything.
He hustled every day. He gave it all he had, that's on the field. Even on the daggone running the sprints and things.
I was lucky enough, I don't remember how I run Freddie down or something. I didn't really mean to, but I kind of caught him and swung around and more or less body slammed him against the ground, And Freddie looked at me kind of rough and he told me, he said, it's just practice, But I mean, it was, like I say, when you get all hip and stuff like it, fired up, why, it's easy to get carried away sometimes.
When he was getting ready to be a freshman at Ketron, Harry Fry and their high school principal and one of Freddie's grade school coaches came over to talk Daddy into letting him go to Gate City instead of coming to Ketron. Harry always wanted him. He always thought he was going to have him for, play.
When I walked off the field, I thought of Freddie, because Freddie had come over there. He could go on to Gate City and been an All-American over there, and
that was kind of a big deal when he came over and tried to recruit Freddie, but that was probably the first time that I realized that he was going to be a little better than the average.
Harry Fry was coming to his house trying to talk him into playing, and he had all these boys he had played with since 5th grade, and Harry Fry said he wanted to make Freddie a quarterback maybe, so they were recruiting him pretty hard. But Freddie's dad said, nope, you're going to Ketron. It's, that's the end of the story. You're going to Ketron. And Freddie said, well, I might just not play football then. And his dad said, well, good. That'll give you more time to do farm work. and Freddie decided he'd go ahead and play football. That's the way I heard the story.
He was fired up then because Gate City meant a lot to him. He said, "Come on, boys." He said, "These guys are fired up in Gate City." He said, I've talked to them. He said, "They're coming for us." He said, "You guys are going to have to get pumped up." So I remember just like turning on a switch. You know, we weren't having a good practice, and all of a sudden, just like turning on a dime, everybody got charged up and started doing better that day. Started for the rest of the practice. We were a number one.
To me, of course, in regular season, that was the game.
It was a pitch out, but he fumbled the ball, but he was able to get a hold of it again and take off down the field with it. Now, you have to have good hand skills, like a receiver, to do that.
When we beat them, I could feel the way Freddie was feeling too, you know. That's a big win for Freddie. Freddie had a good night, you know, and he was proud. Of course, we were all proud that night.
It's hard to compare football players from different eras. Freddie Hicks never claimed to be the best running back in Ketron history.
Well, I'm sure there's been teams that maybe might have had a better defensive player at a certain position than maybe our team did, or a better running back.
He was a varsity running back as a sophomore, and quickly Freddie proved his durability. In 3 seasons of varsity play, he never missed a game. Along the way, he won honors and accolades. He was an all-Upper Lakes Conference running back in 71 and 72. In 72, he was the Conference Back of the Year. Also in 1972, he set a school record in rushing yardage and tied the school record for scoring, and then set a new standard with 2 touchdowns in the playoffs. Additionally, Freddie was selected to the All-East Tennessee team and was honorable mention for All-State. In 1972, he also set an Upper Lakes Conference record for rushing yards. But there was more to Freddie than stats. He was quite a personality. Funny, entertaining even. I don't ever think he ever met a stranger. It was an honor to have Freddie as a teammate and a friend.
He just had a great personality. He was always upbeat, smiling. One thing I remember most about Freddie, or liked most about Freddie, was his smile. It was catching, infectious, I guess you would say.
Personally, to me, was a cut above. He was just a cut above.
Freddie was the type of person, he walks in a room, he just kind of captured everybody. He was that type of individual.
Oh, Freddie couldn't be beat. You know, he was there to help you. You know, and he's easy to get along with, funny, making jokes. You know, he's just a great guy. You know.
Another thing I used to kid Freddie about was the way he danced, and he had this way. He was a pretty good dancer. I'm not saying that, but he had this way. His hands were always up here doing this, and he'd move around. He'd shake his hands. He rarely dropped them, but I would kid him a lot about that, and he took it good. It was something that I like to kid him about. The Freddie dance, the flea dance.
I don't think Freddie really meant to be funny, but he was so funny when he would do things and he'd say things.
It goes way beyond football. This person, I had 2 times in my life that I needed help. And this was years after I graduated high school. We hadn't played football in years. And I went to him for help. And twice, he went out of his way to stop what he was doing to come and help me. Now, that's the kind of guy he was.
He was always telling stories, yucking it up, laughing. He and Charlie, they always had great stories, and so he was a great storyteller. And it was just a lot of fun.
Well, I miss him a whole lot. I really do.
Freddie was just a likable guy. He never met a stranger. He had some good social skills. You know, he could talk to anybody, anywhere, I believe.
This was beyond a football player. This was a man's man. And a man who didn't forget his friends. And a man who would come to your aid if you needed it.
And, you know, he was always kind of lifting you up, boosting you up, you know, just making you feel better even though you didn't do so well.
Just a great guy, great friend. You could trust him with, you know, personal information. Just a great friend, great guy all the way around.
I can't say enough about Freddie.
I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass. I'm back in my helmet, cleats and shoulder pads. Standing in the huddle, listening to the call. Fans going crazy for the boys that fall. They didn't let just anybody in that club. Took every ounce of heart and sweat and blood to get to wear those game day jerseys down the hall. The kings of the school, man, where the boys are fall. Well, it's turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air all right. Yes, sir, we want the ball. And it's knocking heads and talking trash. It's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back. when your back's against the wall. You mess with one man, you got us all. The boys will fall. In little towns like mine, that's all they got. Newspaper clippings fill the coffee shops. The old men will always think they know it all. Young girls will dream about the boys will fall. Well, it's turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air all around. Yes, sir, we want the ball. And it's knocking heads and talking trash. It's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back. When your back's against the wall, you mess with one man, you got us all. The boys are turning faces, stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air all around. Yes, sir, we want the ball. It's knocking heads and talking trash. It's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back. When your back's against the wall, you mess with one man, you got us all. Boys will fall.